Hello all, welcome to session 47 of the PySpark series. So from last around 3 sessions we have started with joins in PySpark. In last 2 sessions we have started with inner join in PySpark. Okay, in session 45 we have seen how to perform inner join over one column when we have to join two data sets based on one column. Okay, in session 46 we have seen if there are nulls, okay, on in joining column, null values in joining column, how to handle that scenario and what will happen, right, when we do inner join. Okay, in that case, now in session 47 what we will do, we will start working on inner join, but we will be joining based on multiple columns. Okay, so I'll just explain you first the requirement. I'll first explain you the data. Okay, now in employee data, currently what we have for this session is I have employee ID, employee name, employee country, and department. Okay, department ID, right? This is how I have, let's say, few 10-15 records. Okay, next is I have departments data. So departments data now has department ID, department name, and country code, right? So in each country, for example, in India, I can have department ID 1. Okay. In US, I can have department ID 1. In UK, I can have department ID 1. Okay. So in this scenario, my purpose will not be satisfied. Okay. If I join only on department ID. Okay. I can have department ID 1 in multiple countries, right? So, for example, if department ID 1 in India country is what? IT. Okay, in another country it can be something different, right? So what I need to do here is I have to join based on department ID and country code, right? That's how we understand how to join over multiple columns. Okay, that's how we understand the requirement, basically joining on multiple columns in PySpark. So here we have to join based on two columns. First column is department ID, second column is country code. Okay, I can have same department ID in different country codes. Okay, so what I can do is I have data set already added here. Okay, let's start from again scratch. Let's create, schemas and all these things quickly. So what we have to do, we have to import all types. Okay, from pyspark.sql import functions, right? Functions as f. The reason why I'm writing all the codes again and again is because you also will do it with me, right? If I start making it, shortcut, you will also start doing that and you will miss your practice, right? So that's the reason I'm writing the things again and again. So at least if you don't write, at least you will see those things in all the videos in multiple times, right? Okay, fine. So now let's go ahead and create employee schema. What we will do, we will use StructType. Okay, then what I have to do, StructField. I'm just going a little fast here. What are the fields? Employee ID, employee name, country, and department ID, right? So employee ID, it is what, integer type, right? Okay, next one. I'll just copy all the four, and the next one is employee name, which is what? Which is string type, right? The next one is what? I have country code and department ID. So what I'll do? Department ID, and I have country. For example, I'll write it as country and it is string, right? String. Okay. String type. Okay. Fine. That's my employee schema, and my department schema equals to what I have to do, struct type, right? Struct field, what is my first field? It is department ID, it is string type, right? Let me just copy. I have three columns in my department data set, right? Okay, next is what? My department name, which is string type. Department ID is integer type, and department country, let's say. department, country, which is string type, right? Let me run this to check if there is any error. Okay, what is saying? Integer type spelling is wrong. Okay, let me correct that. Then, right? Okay, empdf equal to what we will do, we will use spark dot create data frame, right? First, what it will take, it will take first parameter as data and second parameter as schema, right? And then department df equals to what it will do, it will spark dot create data frame. I have department data, okay, and department schema, right? I'll just display both the data frames so that just to confirm if both the data frames are created correctly or not, right? Display, right? Let me run this and let's see. Yep, see, both the data frames are created as expected. Okay, now I'll just explain how it works when you join based on multiple columns. Okay, what happens here, what we have decided, we will join based on department id and country, right? So my department id 1 and India in will be one partition, right? Wherever I have match, okay, for example 1 in, okay, is my one partition, okay, where I have match 1 in, this partition has got match here, right? So it will be joined here, right? Next one is what, 2 in, 2 in, there is no match with 2 in, okay. It should, so in case when we join using multiple column, the match should be based on that partition. And what is partition? If I am joining based on department id and country, okay, each department id and country will become one partition, so there should be partition match, right? One partition of my left data set should have match with one full partition of my right data set. Okay, it will be combination of all the columns we are including for joins. Maybe we are including 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns. It will become one partition. Okay, and same partition should have match in another data frame. Okay, that's how it works. Um, Joining over multiple columns. Okay, so what I'll do, let me let's say joined. Okay, df equals to what I have to do, empdf dot join. Now I think the basic format you all are aware. Okay, department df, right? It is what, other, right? Other is department df, other means other data set, other data frame. Okay, on, on is what, the joining condition. Okay, what I have to do here, I have multiple conditions here, so I'll specify them as list. Okay, what I'll do, empdf dot which column I have, department id equals to department df dot department id. This is my first column, right? And what is my second joining condition? It's on country, right? So empdf dot country, right, equals to department df dot, what is that, department country, right? This is the column. Okay, and third one is what, how to join. I'm performing inner join, so I'll just specify inner join. If I don't specify, it will be one and the same, right? Joined df dot display, right? Let me run this. What happened? Unsupported operand types and for list. Okay, what it is saying is, oh, it's not like this. I have to, it should be tuple. Okay, this one, right? And then this one. Yeah, let me run this now, right? It is working. It should be a list. What we said is it should be a list of joining condition, right? So what has happened? See, and let's do a select also, right? Let's select only needed columns, right? So that we will understand it clearly. F dot call, let's say employee ID. Okay, then f dot call, I have to select employee name, right? Then f dot call employee, let's say department id, department id. Then next, what I'll select, what I am selecting, just to avoid confusion over so much columns, that we have so much columns, right? Department name, right? And f dot call department country, for example, right? Department country. Let's run this. Okay. Now see, 1 and in. Okay. If you see in data, okay, 1 and in, okay, has 1 and in. This partition has how many match? This one will get matched with this one, right? Will get joined 1 and in, this one also, and this one also. So that's the reason we have for 1 in, we have 3 records. Okay. Each row from left data frame will get joined to each row of right data frame, right? And then we have match 3 in. Let's see if we have, let's say 3 in, right? This partition has match. Yes, 3 in is there, which is kind of data engineering department, right? This is how joins work in this is how when we work on joins on multiple columns in PySpark. Okay, now there are, I would say there are many variants to it. Okay, for example, if I like we have already seen, if I don't specify, right, if I don't specify the type of join, it will by default perform that as inner join. Okay, because by default it will happen as inner join. We have seen that in case of SQL as well. Okay, then what next what we can do, for example, let's say you are joining on you have, let's say 4 5 columns. Okay, what do you have to do? You have to separate out this join condition. Okay, so what we can do, let me put emp department inner join condition, right? I'll give this condition here. Okay, and this variable I'll just use here on this variable. What I have done, I have just kept it separate. Okay, just to avoid confusion. Okay, if it is getting very long, then I'll define that separately. Okay, let's see. Yeah, results will be same, right? So this is how we work on joining two data sets on multiple columns. Okay, if I'm taking 3 columns for joining, column 1, column 2, and column 3 will become one partition, and it will find for same match of that partition in right data set. Okay, so consider it as partition. It will never be an individual if you are working on joining multiple columns. Okay, let's do it using SQL also. Okay, empdf dot create or replace stamp view, let's say employee, right? And next one, department df. Okay, department df dot create or replace stamp view. Okay, department, right? Let me run a SQL query for this, spark.sql. Okay, select, let's say I'll give alias. Okay, let's say employee e to employee, e dot emp id, e dot emp name, right? Then for department, let's say d dot department name, right? D dot department, uh, okay, ID I have to select. Let's say department ID, department country, okay, and D dot department name, okay, from employee, okay, join department D on what, E dot department dep ID equals to D dot, what is the column name in department? It is department ID, right? Department ID. Okay, and then country and department country. Okay, where is that? D dot department ID and E dot country equals to D dot department country, right? D dot department country dot display. Okay, let's display. Okay, it is running. Same output. Okay, 1348 employee IDs we have received as output. 1348 same. Okay, so what we have done here, it's just, I would say, a SQL expression version of the PySpark code we have written. Okay, we have selected the columns, okay, which we have achieved in PySpark using what, dot select transformation, right? And then join, okay, joining employee data frame on, okay, department D, okay, on E dot department. So this condition, see, on, okay, it's the same on that's specifying here. Where is that on, right? So that's how, if we start learning comparatively, right, it will make you learn. So this is PySpark series, but if you observe clearly, we have learned a lot of SQL also here, right? So it is both. If you do it together, I tell many people, right? People say like they find, some people say they find SQL difficult. Some people say they find data frames, PySpark code difficult. If you do it hand in hand, the concept is same, right? Just the way of writing the query, SQL query or PySpark code is little different, right? If we understand that, we are good with both PySpark and SQL, right? So yep, that's how it works when we are working on multiple, joining on multiple columns, okay, in case of SQL or in case of PySpark, right? Fine, that's everything for this session. If you feel this is useful, do like, share, subscribe, and comment. Okay, if you have any suggestions, do let me know in comment section or give me a ping on LinkedIn. Right? I hope you were finding this insightful. Okay. Fine. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next session.